Hello seniors, my name is Tania, as you all know by now. Welcome back to OnTrack. In this module, which is a very, very important module, we're going to do a step-by-step walkthrough of the FAFSA. Screenshots of each page of what to expect when you're filling your FAFSA out. Before we begin, I have a couple of tidbits for you. We highly recommend that you have a pen and paper with you while watching this module so you can take down notes. Also, if you can, have the parent or guardian who will most likely be filling out the FAFSA sitting with you. We will go over the parent section in this module so they too can know what to expect when filling out the FAFSA and what to have with them. In previous modules, I covered what to expect as far as the documents, and you went over how to get their FSA ID. We will briefly go over that again, and then we'll get right into the walkthrough. So get ready. First, how has the FAFSA changed? I'm pretty sure you have all been hearing about this. It's called the prior year. The FAFSA is now available starting October 1st. In previous years, it was available in January, but now it is available a little bit earlier, and you will use the year prior. So, if you are starting school in the fall of 2017, you will be using your 2015 tax information. Once again, parents, you'll be using your 2015 tax information. If you look at the chart I have here, it outlines basically the next 4 years what FAFSA will look like. So make sure you're taking note of this so next year when it comes time, you are already prepared with the tax information and what to expect when you're filling it out. Documents you will need, I will briefly go over this slide. Parents, W-2 from employer. Seeing as you're using the 2015 documents, you should all be ready to go. Most recent tax information, bank statements and records of investments, 529 savings plans, stocks and bonds, have all that information ready to go. Records of untaxed income, so any documents which talk about your child support is something you want to have ready and available. Both FSA ID. Before you begin filling out the FAFSA, because you can't even fill it out without it, you will need to create your FSA ID. Students, you will need one, and if you are dependent, your parent or guardian will need one too. Social Security number, because without it, you cannot get your FSA ID. For those who are non-eligible citizens, you will need your alien registration number. You will also need your driver's license. So for those who are driving and on the road, parents, if you're on the road, you will also need that number as well. And students, don't forget, please have the list of colleges you're interested and ready to go. There will be a part in the FAFSA that will ask you for this list. It's okay if you're still iffy about some of those schools. It's important to get it all out there in the list. You can always go back and edit it. If you're like, I'm not interested in this school anymore, but I want something else, it's good to have the schools ready on that list. All right, so Andrew went over this page as well. This is the FAFSA homepage. You will find everything you need on this page, helpful links, tips, tricks, and of course, how to fill out the FAFSA. So make sure you are well acquainted with this page because this will be the starting point to filling out the FAFSA. All right, now we're on the first page. You see right here, it says enter the student's FSA ID. You cannot get into the FAFSA without having an FSA ID. Parents, although you have an FSA ID, you cannot access the student's FAFSA. You can only access it using the student's FSA ID. Your FSA ID will be used to sign and submit the FAFSA. Once again, the FSA ID they are asking for on this first page is the student's ID. Now, in the case you may forget your FSA ID, you can also enter your information here. As you see, it asks for the student's social security number. So it's very, very important, students, that you have this number. As you're getting older, a lot of documents will ask for this number. So try to memorize it. Maybe, say, hey, as you're going off certain places, hey, mom and dad, grandma, grandpa, whoever's your parent or guardian, can I have this card or can I know the number? Because a lot of documents from this point forward will ask you for your social security number. As you also see here on this right-hand side, help and hints. Throughout the entire FAFSA, this will be your very best friend. It will walk you through questions, any questions you may have about a question on the FAFSA. Most likely the helpful hints will answer it. So make sure you're reading it, you're scrolling through that column. Next, for which school are you applying for the financial aid? Get started. Please make sure you're clicking the right year. So for seniors, you'll be looking at the Start 2017-2018 FAFSA. That way the school gets the right information for the right school year. So please make sure you are clicking the right year when filling out the FAFSA, seniors. Now, start your FAFSA. Next is a save key. This save key allows you to go back and fill out your FAFSA or make any edits to it in the case you say, you know what, I've had enough for one sitting, I need to go back and start again. The application will be saved for 45 days. The save key can also give your parents access to the FAFSA in the case you know what you say, mom and dad, parent, guardian, I'm gonna do my section first, and then when you have your time, you go in and you do your section. So save key is very important. Make sure you store this information along with your FSA ID in a safe place so you always know how to get back to your information. All right before you begin, they give you helpful links. Just in case you have any questions prior to filling out the FAFSA, these links are here to guide you. These are the top questions people usually ask before, during, and after they fill out the FAFSA. So make sure if you have any questions, you look through this list, you click on the link, get the information, and go right back to filling out your FAFSA. All right, the first page is a student demographics page. It asks you all the information about you, social security number, your name, your date of birth, and your street. Please make sure the information is accurate and consistent through all documents you fill out. This is so important to eliminate confusion and going back and forth with FAFSA or your school. They ask you about how long you've lived in the area and your email address. I want to focus on this area right here because this email address needs to be an active email address that you and your parents use. There will be a lot of correspondence between you and FAFSA through this email address. And the last thing you want is to put an inactive email address or spell your email address wrong and you miss out on important information. So please double and triple check that you are putting a correct email address in this slot. Then of course you go down and ask you about your marital status. Most of you will be single at this point, unless you're married, and your driver's license number. Once again, if you do not have a driver's license number, just skip over that part, it's totally fine. Next page, your student eligibility is continue with the demographics. This asks you about your high school's name, where it's located, and the state. School selection, this is also a very important page. I'm gonna put a star on this. You want to put all the schools you are interested in applying to. You can put up to 10 schools in this list. Of course, there's no ranking. Don't feel compelled to put the school you're most interested in first. However, to my Pennsylvania students, if you are applying to a Pennsylvania school for FIA purposes, which Andrew will go over more in depth in the next module, you want to put your Pennsylvania schools first. Once again, for my Pennsylvania students, if you are filling this out and you're putting schools in, you want to put your PA schools first for FIA purposes. Once again, 10 schools, fill it up. Even if it's a school you're still iffy about, put it on the list. It doesn't hurt, it can only help you. Here, it also asks more information. It says, hey, these are the schools. Are you gonna live off campus or on campus? These questions are to determine how much aid they can give you. You may not know the answer to the question yet. Our advice to you is to put on campus, and you can always change it. It's okay. You just want to make sure you are making yourself available for all the aid you can possibly receive. Independent or dependent. Andrew also went over this in a previous module. If you have any questions about this, you're still unsure, please review that module or talk to your counselors, parent, guardians, mentors about this. The independent or dependent section is very important when filling out the FAFSA. You will be asked a series of questions to determine whether you need to put your parental information on the FAFSA or not. So if you look at the screen, you will see some of the questions they ask you. Were you born before January 1st, 1994? As of today, are you married? At the beginning of the school year, the 2017 to 2018 school year, will you be working on a master's or doctorate program? It lists all the type of different degrees, and it goes on to ask you many different questions. Are you a veteran of the U.S. Armed Forces? As determined by court of your state legal residence? Are you an emancipated minor? You may not have all the answers to these questions, that's okay. Please feel free to come back to the FAFSA and talk to the guardian, the parent, or anybody who is helping with the FAFSA. If you answer yes to any of these questions, you will be determined as an independent student. Once again, most of you watching this will be dependent students. So this section is a little bit easier for you to fill out as all the answers would be no. After you fill out that questionnaire, you will be taken to a dependent status page. This says, by the way you answer the questions, you are a dependent student, and then you see the first bubble says, I will provide parental information. Now, the next part of this module, we're going to go over the parent information. But before I even stop this section, I want to say, if you get to this page and it says you are dependent, but you are unable to fill out your parental information, it is okay. There's something called special circumstances. Your parents are incarcerated. You left home because of an abusive situation. You are older than 21, but not yet 24, and you're unaccompanied or homeless, or a lot of other things going on, because we are all different. We all have different situations. If you feel you qualify for the special circumstances, then when you get to that dependency page, I'm going to go back really quick, you can put, I am unable to provide parental information. And the FAFSA will allow you to skip over the parental part. After this, once you're done, the school will most likely contact you and ask more information as to why you couldn't provide your parental information, and maybe just for some clarification or verification. Don't be alarmed. I just want to make sure that all the information you're putting on here is factual. So once again, read through the special circumstances. It's also on the FAFSA. It's also on the FAFSA pages, the studentaid.gov page, to say, hey, I have a situation I'm not quite sure about. What do I do? So in the next part of this module, we will go over who is your parent and the parent section. I highly, highly encourage you to grab your parent or guardian to watch this section in case they missed the first part, because this is all about what they need to fill out the FAFSA. So once again, my name is Tania, and I hope you stay on track, and I'll see you in the next module.